Salvete omnes. Hello, everyone. We're going to take another look at a Roman home. This is something that we've already talked about in class, but I just wanted to give you another look at some of these words. We'll be seeing them again, and you never know, they may pop up in extra credit. So here's a view of a via, of a road or a way, and you can see that higher sidewalk to protect people who'd be walking there from any stray chariots. Now, when we walk into a Roman home, we'll see some sort of family spirit, kind of like a mini god. This one here, this type is called a lar, or if there are many of them, they're called lares. And they just protect the people who are close to it. So this is a view of something called the atrium, which in English we keep the same letters, we just call it an atrium. The opening up there in the ceiling is called a compluium. Okay, so the rainwater would fall in and it would fill this basin here, the impluvium. You could keep the water there to make it look like a nice sparkling pool. If the water is dirty or if you sweep the house and dump all of the dust into that pool, you could flip a switch and let that water drain away out into a gutter. If the water in the impluvium is clean, you could flip another switch or flip that same switch in another way, in another direction, and it would fill a cistern, kind of like a reservoir, where you could keep water that you could use. Off to the sides here, we have something called an ala, which is kind of like a waiting room for guests. There might be, if this is the home of a very rich person, there might be a kind of secretary in there, a kind of receptionist. And the family spirit, the divinity that protects the home, is in this thing here called an Idikula. And we actually have this word in English. It's called an edicule. It basically looks like a tiny little temple that's mounted on a wall or against a wall. And we have these in quite a few places. They're very common in churches. Some homes will have an actual shrine, something bigger than this, almost like a mini temple called a sacelum. Here's a look at another atrium, and you can see this one here has a little fountain. It doesn't appear to be working in this picture. And there's the Idikula right there, the Idiculum. And this one has very tall columns, and this probably belonged to a very wealthy person. Here's another one. This is the view. Again, you can see the main entrance to the home right in the background. This is a view from the office. Okay, so this is called the tablinum. There's an abacus there on the desk for the master to count money or do whatever other calculations he needed to do. If this were an old rich family, the family death masks might have been kept in here. Older families treasured their family history. And this, you may recall, is the Triclinium. Basically, it's the dining room with these couches on which people would recline and eat and talk, probably listen to some music. And here's another example of that. The cushions are missing here, of course. And here's what a banquet might have looked like. You can see the garland hanging from the ceiling and people drinking and eating and having a good time. And it looks like they're making a mess on the floor too. Here is a cubiculum, a bedroom. This one is interesting because it has a window. You don't often see windows in Roman homes. And here's what an atrium might have looked like in its day when it was in regular daily use. Of course, all of these things were painted, richly decorated. Um, a lot of these homes were very comfortable. Okay, that's it for today. Just a brief look at a Roman home. We'll be talking about this and many more things from Roman culture in later lessons. Valete!